So, what is the spiritual dream meaning of someone visiting you? The answer to that? Well, it might be way more important than you could possibly imagine.
And I mean that literally. This isn't some metaphor. This is the actual historical life of Harriet Tubman. When she was just 12 years old, an overseer threw a 2-pound lead weight. It was meant for another enslaved person, but it missed, and it struck Harriet right in the head. I mean, she should have died, but she didn't. And from that moment forward, everything changed. She started having these incredibly vivid, undeniable dreams. Visitors came to her. She believed they were God, her ancestors, and they came with specific instructions. This is the road to take. That house is safe. This is the path to freedom. So after she escaped slavery herself, she didn't just, stay safe up north. No, she went back 19 times. Think about that. She walked right back into the jaws of the very thing that almost killed her, and her only guide? The visitors who came to her in her sleep. And this is the result. Over 700 people. That's over 700 souls guided to freedom, all of them putting their lives, their entire futures in the hands of a woman who was literally following her dreams. But here's the part that's it's almost unbelievable. In all those trips, with all that danger around every corner, she never lost a single person. Not one. You've probably heard her say it. I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger. So I want you to really sit with that question. Let it sink in, because that is the entire point here. Those are the stakes we are talking about when we ignore these things. Okay, let's be perfectly clear about something. The person who visits you in a dream, that is not a coincidence. It's not just some random static from a tired brain. What we're talking about here is one of the most psychologically loaded and spiritually significant events a person can possibly experience. And look, this is not some new idea. We're talking about every recorded culture in history. I mean, from indigenous traditions to Jungian psychology to Christian mysticism, they all get it. They all treat a dream visitor as a carrier of meaning. It is not background noise, it's a priority message sent directly to you. And why does it matter so much? Well, because grief is real, isn't it? Longing is real. There are relationships in your life with people who are living and people who are gone that your conscious mind it can't fully process. But your dream state, it doesn't have those limits. It will go exactly where your waking mind is too guarded, too exhausted, or too scared to go.
So when someone visits you in a dream, your psyche is doing one of three absolutely urgent things. 1, it's helping you process an unresolved emotional bond. 2, it's giving you an intuitive message about that relationship. Or 3, it's pushing you to integrate a part of yourself that this person represents. Look, none of those are small things. All 3 are absolutely vital. And listen, don't get hung up on the words, on the terminology, okay? Through a therapy lens, a dream visitor is just your brain flagging an open emotional loop. Through a spiritual lens, that visitor is a genuine messenger. Is it a projection or a presence? It does not matter what you call it. What matters is that you listen. The best way, the most integrated way to approach this is to hold both questions at the same time. You don't have to pick a side. Ask yourself, what does this visitor represent in my psyche? And what is this visitor trying to give me? That's exactly what Harriet Tubman did. She held both realities at once. And remember what happened? She never lost a passenger. So, if there's someone who has been showing up in your dreams, maybe it's someone you've lost, someone who hurt you, someone you never got a chance to say goodbye to, do not dismiss it. Don't just wait for the message to get louder, because I'm telling you, it will. Your psyche will escalate the signal until you are forced to pay attention. The message here is really simple. Don't ignore the visitors who come to you when you sleep. Pay attention. Start tonight.
Part 2. All right, let's get straight to it. When someone shows up in your dream, it is never random. Your psyche, it doesn't do random. It's sending a message, and you absolutely need to know how to read it. So let's break this down. Every single detail. I'm talking the look on their face, the exact words they used, the whole feeling in the room. That's the message. None of it is filler. It's all code. And here's the bottom line. We're going to learn the language of these visitors. We are going to decode these messages. And this isn't some fun little exercise. This is so you can take these insights and apply them to your life, like right now, today. Okay, so let's start with the first category. Visitors pulled straight from your personal history. Your subconscious is reaching back into your timeline for a very specific reason, and you've got to figure out what that is. I mean, just look at this list. A deceased loved one, a lost contact, someone from your childhood. You see, these aren't just random memories popping up. These are echoes, figures demanding your attention, because something is still unresolved, something's unfinished. So what do you do with this? You don't just shake it off and forget about it, no. You sit with it. You get brutally honest with yourself and ask, what is this visitor actually demanding? Is it closure or is it reconnection? Think about it. One answer means you finally say goodbye. The other, it means you send that letter you never sent. You know which one it is. So stop pretending you don't. And what if it's an ancestor, someone you never even met? This is your lineage making contact. It's pointing to a generational pattern. So the question becomes incredibly personal. What chain are you being asked to break right now for everyone who came before you? Okay, so that's visitors from your past. But what happens when the person in your dream isn't really them at all? Yeah, sometimes the visitor is just you. The dream is literally holding up a mirror to a part of your inner world that you've been refusing to look at. And this shows the two sides of that coin perfectly. If you dream about someone you wronged, that's your ethical alarm going off. Your psyche is holding you accountable in the one place you can't run. But if you dream of someone who wronged you, that is not an invitation to reconnect. It's a rehearsal space. It's a place for you to practice what it feels like to finally put their weight down.
But what about maybe the most ignored visitor of all, the complete stranger? This is a direct encounter with the unknown. It could be a guide, sure, but more often than not, it's a part of yourself you haven't even met yet. And the work here is so critical. You do not play detective trying to figure out who this person really is. Instead, you ask, what quality did they carry? Were they calm, terrifying, powerful? That quality is what your psyche is asking you to either confront or integrate into your own life.
Now, what about when it's someone you actually know, a partner, a friend, but they're acting completely out of character? Listen, don't you dare dismiss that as just some random brain glitch. Your intuition is processing a gap between who they are and who you fear they might be. That intuition, that gut feeling, that's one kind of alarm. But some dreams are way more direct. And these are the high-stakes visitations. They are not subtle, they are sirens. These are the dreams you absolutely positively cannot afford to ignore.
First step, the warning. A visitor shows up with this intense urgency, trying to redirect you, to stop you. Now, the message isn't always literal, okay? It's not telling you to quit your job tomorrow, but it is always directional. It's a giant flashing sign telling you to reconsider the path you're on. Next, we have the reoccurring visitor. If the same person shows up night after night, that is not a coincidence. It's an escalation. Your inner world is calling your name over and over again until you finally pick up the phone. That consistent element, whatever keeps showing up, that is the message. And then there's the gift. This is one of the highest grade messages you can possibly receive. The object they give you, it's a direct symbol. A key means you're being handed access to something locked inside you. A flower means growth is forcing its way into your life. You cannot ignore this kind of direct transmission. And then, at the highest level, you have the visit from a spiritual figure. This is your psyche operating at its absolute highest altitude. It's the wisest part of you, the core of you, speaking back to you in a form you can finally understand. So the question isn't, why did this luminous being appear in my dream? No. The real question, the one you have to ask, is what part of me does this figure represent that I am not yet living? So let's land this plane. These dreams, they're not going to stop. They are a fundamental part of your operating system. So the only question left is whether you are going to start.
It really is that simple. Your inner world is calling. The dream won't do the work for you. It can only deliver the message. So, will you do the work it's asking you to do?
Part 3. Okay, this is where we get brutally honest, because all that knowledge we've been talking about, it's completely useless without action.
Think about it this way. The dream visited you. That part's over, it's done. Now you have to visit it back. You have to meet it here in your waking life with real intention before that message just vanishes.
So we're going to start with the most critical practice of all,
And this one is especially for you, the woman who says, I just don't have the time. Listen, if you think you don't have 5 minutes for this, you need to think again.
And here's why it's so urgent. Up to 90%, 90 of your dream content is just gone. It vanishes within the first 5 minutes after you wake up. Poof, it's just gone.
Look, what this means is that your dreams are literally dying unread every single morning. So this practice, it's non-negotiable. You get a notebook and a pen, not your phone, okay? Put it right on your nightstand. And the second your eyes open, before you say a word, before you check a single thing, you write. I don't care if it's just fragments, feelings, colors, a name, whatever's there. You have to stop letting these messages die.
All right, now we get into the heavy stuff. This is for all that unfinished emotional business that keeps knocking on your door while you're asleep, mostly because you're avoiding it when you're awake.
So if someone, living or dead, showed up in your dream and you know deep down there are things that were never said, this is for you. And let's be really clear, this is not just some cute journaling exercise. This is actually a powerful cognitive behavioral therapy technique. It's for processing all the stuff that has nowhere else to go.
You're gonna write to them like they're sitting right in front of you. You say the thing you never had the guts to say. You ask that question that just haunts you, and you do not edit for politeness. Forget that. The magic, the healing, it happens in the writing, not the sending. This is for you, not for them. Burn it, bury it, whatever. The point is you finally get it out of your system.
Now, for those of you who need a more structured, analytical approach, there's a brilliant Jungian technique called active imagination. You can just think of it as a direct line, a conversation with your own subconscious, designed to get you very clear answers.
So after you've written the dream down, you close your eyes and you consciously go back into it. You find that visitor and you ask them directly, why are you here? What do you need me to know? And then, and this is the part everybody skips, you shut up and you listen. The answer that comes back, that's from the deepest part of your own psyche. It is more true and more precise than anything anyone else could ever tell you. Okay, this next section requires some real courage. This is for the woman who is brave enough to be brutally honest with herself about her actual real-world relationships. When a specific person who is alive right now shows up again and again and again in your dreams, that is not a coincidence. It is a signal, a loud one. It means something in that relationship needs your direct, waking attention, and it needs it now. I want you to sit with these questions. Really sit with them. What is unresolved between us? Am I avoiding a conversation I know I need to have? Am I just tolerating something indefinitely? Does this person reflect a version of me that I am proud of or ashamed of? And this last one, what would I do differently if I knew I only had 6 more months with this person? Answer those honestly. And then you're going to take one concrete action this week, not someday, this week. And look, if you wronged someone and now they're visiting you in your dreams, your own mind will not let you rest. Unresolved guilt is like a chronic low-grade poison, and it affects every single relationship you have. It is time to deal with it.
A real amends is so simple, and it's one of the most liberating things a person can do. First, you acknowledge what you did. Second, you take full responsibility. No excuses, no deflections. Third, you ask them what you can do to make it right. And finally, you accept their response, whatever it is. Stop waiting for the right moment. The right moment is right now.
Okay, now we go deeper. This is about connecting your inner world to something bigger than you, to the spiritual, the ancestral, the symbolic realms that are just packed with wisdom. If an ancestor appeared in your dream, whether you knew them or not, please hear me. This is not superstition. This is relational psychology stretched across time. You are one chapter in a long, long story, and honoring that connection, well, that's one of the deepest forms of self-knowledge there is.
The practice itself is so simple. You light a candle, you speak their name out loud, and you ask, what do you need me to carry forward? What do you need me to release? And then you just sit in the silence, and you listen. For the creative and the spiritually open woman, this one's for you. It's about embodiment. If your dream visitor brought you a symbol, a stone, a feather, an image, find or create a small, physical representation of it. Put it somewhere you can see it. By doing this, you're anchoring the dream's message into your waking life. You're keeping that channel open.
Now, if you have a recurring dream that leaves you feeling anxious or just totally drained, this is non-negotiable. It is time to interrupt that pattern and take your power back.
Before you go to sleep tonight, you're going to set a clear, conscious intention using this exact phrase. This simple reframe, shifting you from a passive dreamer to an active participant, is actually proven in CBT research to reduce the intensity and the frequency of nightmares. You are not powerless inside your own mind. It is time to own that.
So here's the bottom line. The truth is, your dreams are not visiting you just to entertain you. They're visiting because something real needs to be tended to. Something is unfinished or unhealed or waiting to be born through you.
That visitor in your dream, they are holding a door open for you. Harriet Tubman walked through that door every single night. And because she trusted those visions, 700 people lived. Now your stakes might look different, but I promise you they are just as real.
The door is open. You're the one who has to decide whether or not you walk through it.